Willie Sutton wasn't magnetized to money. He repelled it. When Willie Sutton was asked why he robbed banks, he replied, because that is where the money is. Poor Willie. He was wrong on 2 counts. He was probably wrong on numerous counts. However, to illustrate the point of this message, we will just deal with 2 obvious errors he made. First, banks are not where the money is, and secondly, stealing is not a wise way to obtain it. Research indicates the average bank robber gets $3,000 when they rob a bank. And then, when they are caught, they work for the government for 10 years to pay for it. Money is in consciousness, and it must be earned. Hello, this is Bob Proctor with another Power Principle from our Winner's Choice series. This Power Principle is on money, a delicate subject. It's a subject most people are reluctant to discuss. They are reluctant because speaking about it can attract severe criticism. However, you and I are brave souls, so let's wander into this misunderstood area of life. Lord Bacon gave us some valuable advice when he said money is a good servant, but a bad master. In developing our desire for money, we should also seek a balance of wisdom as well. Otherwise, the accumulation of wealth could bring with it the potential to distort our personality and rob us of our life. I have often thought it to be rather strange, and I should probably add sad, that the earning of money is not taught in our school systems anywhere in the world, even though money is a medium of exchange which is accepted and used worldwide. The frequent response to this kind of thinking is, why should we teach earning money as a subject in school? Everyone already understands how to earn money. However, that is not correct. The sad truth is that 97 out of every 100 people are born, they live and die without ever learning how to earn money. Their ignorance with respect to money is passed along from one generation to the next. Conversely, the 3 or 4% of our population who do understand how to attract wealth pass their prosperity consciousness from one generation to the next. It is time for the 97% group to wake up. If you are part of this group, understand you can learn how to earn money, all the money you want, and it is no more difficult than learning how to drive an automobile. The masses find it strange that there are people who have learned how to pilot rockets to the moon, but have not learned how to accumulate wealth. However, there is nothing strange about it. Being competent at one thing, regardless of what it is, does not mean that you are competent at everything. This message on money has not been made for everyone. It is intended for the 97 out of every 100 who want to earn money but have not yet learned how. This message has nothing to do with interest rates, investments, stocks, or bonds. This power principle is about the cause of wealth. Many years ago, George Bernard Shaw spoke out about money. He made a couple of statements which have caused numerous arguments. Permit me to share them with you. 1, it is the duty of every person to be rich. And 2, it is a sin to be poor. Well, what thoughts do those statements stir in your mind? What is your immediate reaction? So much time has passed since I first heard those statements, I do not remember if I reacted to them or if I sat back and objectively thought about them, wondering what Shaw meant. I probably reacted. Most people do. My reaction was very likely negative as well. I don't suppose it matters how I reacted since it was 20 or 30 years ago. However, you must admit, these are 2 very powerful statements, statements you and I should understand if we are interested in earning money, especially if we are interested in earning money. Before we reject these statements as being ridiculous, analyze them. However, before we look at the statements, perhaps we should look at the person who made them. Knowing a little more about his life may provide some additional insight. George Bernard Shaw was born in Ireland in 1857. However, he lived his life, most of it, in England, after moving there when he was 20 years of age. He was a dramatist, a music critic, and an essayist. Shaw became very successful in his field. He was, in fact, one of the most important literary figures of the last century. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1925. You could very easily arrive at the conclusion, though, that a person making those statements had little concern for the poor, or that he was making fun of them. However, If you do the slightest amount of research, you will find that George Bernard Shaw was a strong supporter of the underdog. He was constantly attempting to improve their life. He was an early supporter of women's rights when that was not a popular behavior, and he attempted to bring about political and economic change through his plays. Because the subject matter of his plays was considered to be radical, it took years for them to gain any form of acceptance. Knowing this about the author, let's listen to those two statements again and attempt to understand them. 1, it is a sin to be poor. 2, it is the duty of every person to be rich. To properly understand what Shaw was saying, you must first have an open mind. Second, you must remain objective. And third, you definitely will require some understanding of the natural laws of the universe. These laws are frequently referred to as divine laws. One of the basic laws you must understand is the law which states, everything is moving. Absolutely nothing rests. You are either moving ahead in life or you're going backwards. It's grow or die, create or disintegrate. You're becoming richer or poorer. Now, there's a second law which is referred to in many different ways. Karmic law, sowing and reaping, cause and effect, action, reaction. How you refer to this law is of little importance, but the understanding of how it works is vitally important. The thoughts, feelings, and actions that you express in life are the seeds that you sow. The conditions, circumstance, and things that come into your life is the harvest you reap as a result of the seeds that you sow. Hold those thoughts for a moment while we investigate the deeper understanding of the words sin and money. Sin is transgression of the law. Violating the law is a sin, and the price of sin is death. That does not mean your heart will stop beating, but it does mean you will go backwards. Remember the law which states that you will either be creating or disintegrating, you'll grow or die. When you attempt to get without giving, you are trying to reap the harvest without sowing the seeds. It will not work. That, my friend, is a sin. You go backwards. Now, let's look at money. What is it? Money is a reward you receive for the service you render. The more valuable the service, the greater the reward. Attempting to get money without providing service is a violation of the law. George Bernard Shaw believed you and I were put here on the planet to serve one another. Thinking of ways we can be of greater service will enable us to grow intellectually and spiritually. It is our duty to serve, and money is a reward we receive for that service. If a person has received their money in an unlawful manner, don't think for a second that they are on the right track. They must pay the price. You reap what you sow. You might see the money they have and the things money will buy, yet never see the price they pay. But they will pay. That is the law. Every thinking person will agree that in the light of the law, what Shaw said is correct. However, that is where the problem begins for most people. They do not think, and if a person is not thinking, Shaw's statements would appear very callous, even ridiculous. Personally, I believe Shaw made those statements the way he did to provoke people into thinking. The Apostle Matthew in the Christian religion did essentially